Well, there are new developments in the labor dispute involving hundreds of Air Transat pilots, with the union representing them issuing a 72-hour strike notice earlier today. Some 700 Air Transat pilots could go on strike as early as December 10th. The union says workers will walk off the job unless significant progress is made in the negotiations. Contract talks between the pilots and the airline have been ongoing since January of this year. Now, to discuss more, let's bring in CTV News aviation specialist Phyl Durdey. Thanks for joining us, Phil.
Good morning, Lauren.
So talk to us about the significance of this strike notice and the timeline of the negotiations. What are the main issues driving the pilots to consider a strike right now?
Well, one of the main issues is that the Air Transat pilots are working under a 10-year-old contract. It has been extended a couple of times due to COVID and other extenuating circumstances. So basically, what they're looking for is a compensation package that mirrors what Air Canada or is comparable to what Air Canada and WestJet have negotiated. So different things like compensation, benefit packages, working conditions, all these things come into play.
Phil, what has to happen in the next 72 hours at the negotiating table in order to avoid a strike here?
Well, both sides will be sitting across the table from each other and working out the issues. There has to be some sort of give and take on both sides, but both parties have to agree and come to a mutual decision.
And if this strike does go ahead and they don't reach a decision in the negotiations, what will happen? How will air travel be disrupted?
Well, Air Transat has 43 aircraft. Presently, right now, there's about 24 aircraft that are in the air, and they're servicing like 60 destinations. So there are people that have booked flights. It is a responsibility for Air Transat to look after these passengers. They can rebook at no charge. It's all depending on the airline. But the passengers need to go and check out the Carriage by Air Act, which will give them the rules and guidelines that covers them in the event of a disruption.
So obviously it's not an ideal time for air travel to be disrupted. Are there any safety or logistical concerns for flights, crew, or passengers at this point in time?
Well, it all depends if they do go on strike. So it could strand a lot of passengers, but it could also strand some air crews. Basically, if the aircraft are down in the Caribbean or in the United States or even in Europe, if there is a strike, then they have to the pilots will walk off the job, and that'll strand the passengers and the pilots, but the pilots will make their ways home.
Okay, thank you for breaking this down for us, Phil. That is Phyl Durdey, CTV News aviation specialist.